If your parents have that much disdain for each other, if they feel that uncomfortable being in the same room,
After 20 years.
I would not want them both at my kid's 1-year-old birthday party because they will make it about themselves.
I come from quite a messy family. I have 6 siblings, all half. My dad is onto his 4th marriage and my mum has had 2 divorces. I've always been close with my mum, but have only become close with my dad in the past 5 or so years. My parents' breakup was very messy and they've never been amicable. I now have a beautiful partner and a darling little daughter who is just about to turn 1. We're throwing her a party and have invited all of our friends and family. However, a few weeks out, my dad has just said that no one from his side of my family, so him, my stepmom, brother, and his family, will be coming because they feel uncomfortable and they would like to have a separate party for my daughter instead. I'm so disappointed. It's been over 20 years since they have divorced. He's had 2 marriages since. How are they still hung up to the point that they can't be in the same room for my daughter for 1 hour? I never wanted my daughter to have to celebrate everything twice like I have. What would you do? Do I suck it up and throw 2 parties or just say to my dad that he'll unfortunately have to miss out?
Firstly, I understand all your points. Very much so. No, you don't have to have 2 parties for your kids. But if your parents are that fucking have that much disdain for each other, if they feel that uncomfortable being in the same room,
After 20 years.
I would not want them both at my kid's 1-year-old birthday party because they will make it about themselves. They will make that situation uncomfortable. And then a memory that is like your first child's first birthday party is such a sweet and big event. Like you made a whole year. That's like your first birthday party. You had a whole year of parenting and you kept that kid alive. Good for you. I personally would not want my parents there in the same room because I wouldn't want to give them the opportunity to make it about them and to take anything away from the experience of my day and of our family unit's day of enjoying my child. So that would be my first thought. So if the opportunity came up to have 2 separate parties, I think I personally would just do it because I absolutely couldn't be bothered with the family drama. But in saying that, if you don't want to have 2 parties because you have memories of how divisive that was for you growing up, I would just say to your dad, okay, well, unfortunately, we're not doing a second one. So, I mean, we can have cake at your house or something, but we're not having a second party. So if you guys are unable to put your differences aside, if you feel that uncomfortable that you can't act like an adult and come to your granddaughter's birthday party, then unfortunately you miss out. And that's a consequence of being a grown adult who can't have grown adult relationships.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely do not think you need to throw 2 entire parties. It's your prerogative. It's your child. And it's also, like Laura said, your birthday. Throw your one party. Be nice to your dad. Say, hey, Dad, this is the party we're doing. Totally get you don't want to come. I wish you could. I would have thought you could put your differences aside by now for the sake of my daughter. But if you can't, you are welcome to take her for an ice cream or have a cake or you can have a moment with her and the family. But I'm not going to the extreme of 2 parties. Also, once you start 2 parties at one, you've set the precedent and it's going to be a lot of effort for the rest of your life.
100%. The thing is that you also are reflecting on your own childhood and what you personally had to experience, this division, this having 2 households, 2 birthday parties, 2 Christmases. Some people are affected by that. Some people are not affected by that in terms of I also grew up having 2 of everything and I haven't really considered the impact that had on me at all. But also I feel really lucky. My parents, growing up, my parents fucking hated each other. I cannot remember them ever not fighting about child support. From the time that I was a little kid until my dad no longer had to pay it.
Really?
They just fought about
money.
Not even I don't even know who was in the right or who was in the wrong, to be honest. They just fought because they could fight, and they had this disdain for each other. But then my sister had kids. I've had kids. We've gotten married. There's been big life events that they've come together for. And then funnily enough, if you listen to the podcast long enough, my dad lives on Magnetic Island, right? With the koalas. And my mum.
Crazy. Here, my dad lives with the koalas.
He lives with the koalas in the bush. My mum and Neil, so my mum's husband, they were heading over there to go on holiday and stay with my dad.
Which is such a nice full circle.
It's fucking wild to me. When my mum told me this, so I mean, they didn't get to go. Neil passed away before the holiday happened and they had to cancel the trip. But it was wild to me that they got to a place where they are so amicable that they are friends again, and that the three of them were going to stay in my dad's tiny 2-bedroom shack and have a holiday together.
I like that.
But this is, I guess, a reflection of the fact that time for a lot of people does heal, the wounds, and that when you have a mutual thing to care about, which is a child, a grandchild, and in my parents' case, multiple grandchildren, you set your differences aside and you do what's mutually best for the people in your life. Your parents are not doing that. They're only thinking of themselves. They're only prioritizing their own discomfort. And this is your opportunity as the adult in your child's life, as the parent, to now make decisions that are right for your nuclear family. And, we either grow up as parents ourselves and we emulate our parents, or we set really clear boundaries around how we want our children to be raised. And I think that this is going to be one of those opportunities for you to communicate with your parents what you will and won't stand for in your kid's life.
And unfortunately, you can't make people be less selfish. You can't. And if some people are so stuck in their ways, and it sounds like if it's been 20 years, they're pretty stuck in the mud. Put it out there, tell him how it is and his options of what he can do. He can either come and be great, or he can take her for a little cake and an ice cream and a moment with his family. But that's it. Like, you don't need to negotiate and you don't need to bend over for other people when you become a parent and you know how you want to parent.
Totally. And you nailed on the head though, Britt.
I nailed the head.
You nailed that head. If you do bend over backwards and do 2 parties, that precedent has been set. If you double down on this and say, nah, this is the way it's going to be, either they will literally come to the party on this one, and then it means that they have broken the ice. The next one won't be as awkward, and you will be able to have these, more of a unified family front moving forward.
Yeah. Or
you're going to contribute to this type of separation. So it's completely up to you, but I know what I would be doing, and I would be telling Dad to fucking suck it up.
Okay. Again, good luck.
Good luck. Wishing you all
and happy birthday.
Well, happy birthday to your beautiful 1-year-old, and congratulations on a year of parenting. All right.